Oh, hello and welcome. What are we talking about with Jamie Jakes? I am him. This is another round of Idiot versus Insider where we are here to make you guys some money. And your champ has arrived. That is right. I am winning against James this season so far. And it's not his fault because I'm absolutely murdering the sports books as well. If this is your first time joining us, how this works every single week, James presents us with a slate of games. Usually it's 6 to 7 games. And he has a pick on each game. I don't know what his pick is. He presents it to me. I either have to agree to it, disagree with it, or pivot to a different side in that game. After each week, based on units won, a winner is crowned. And I have won a lot of weeks so far, James. We are 14 weeks into the season that we have completed. I have won 11 matchups with you. I have won 11 winning weeks against the sports books in terms of units. So no weird stuff here. I'm not taking minus 500 bets every single time just to pad my stats. So
will there be a coin toss, yes or no?
Yeah, I am dominating just gambling wise this season. I will say week 15, we keep on saying these sports books are going to start catching up to us. I feel like it's happening here.
They caught up to me.
yeah, I feel like it's happening to here. Definitely the toughest slate that I had to handicap. So we'll get into it in a second. But first, we got to recap what happened last week. I was 4-1-1, which is basically like an 80% win percentage. Pretty sweet. I am, like I said, 11-3 in winning weeks against the sportsbooks, 11-3 against James in our weekly matchups. The lock of the week hits.
Yeah, it did.
Which felt good.
A little bit of a sweat there.
Well, I don't know about that. The darn Chiefs will learn.
It's the Chiefs and the refs. That's a big advantage.
The Chiefs will keep it close no matter what. We are 8-4 on locks of the week, which sounds a lot better than 7-4.
Way better.
I'll tell you that much. We need one more lock of the week to hit to have a winning week in locks of the week as well. Like you said, we did have Chargers at +4. I'm starting to think that we might make for our gambling podcast the Chiefs our MVP of the season because they're just so easy to bet against. I think they're like on a crazy run, like a historic run. They're like 11-0 or 0-11 against the spread.
But still winning the game.
And still winning.
That's the crazy part.
It really is. It really is spectacular. The Chiefs are frauds. I think the sports books are catching up to it. We do have the Chiefs on this slate, right?
I believe so.
I believe we do have the Chiefs on this slate. So keep an eye out for that. Any more thoughts on that game, James?
Nah, it was a fun game to watch on Sunday night, which is nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes those Sunday night games can get a little out of hand.
Yeah.
That was not one of them.
Last few Sunday nights have been pretty much blowouts.
Chris Collinsworth continues to be up Patrick Mahomes' butt, though. I mean, that man is set up 10th.
I love Chris Collinsworth. I'll go through phases with him where I'll just like, this guy rules. He brings a lot of insights and a lot of he says a lot of smart things into a microphone. And then I just hear him call a game. I'm like, would this guy just shut up? I can't. Last 3 games, Chris Collinsworth, I give him an F. He's worse than the damn Chiefs.
Chris Collinsworth is always in my bad book. If you want to know why, just Google Chris Collinsworth and high school girls. Because he gives
that is a good point.
Gives a whole interview about how he thinks 16-year-olds are easier to hit on.
Yeah, he did say that into a microphone way back in the day.
That is how the hell do you not get canceled for that? I don't know. I think that's the biggest cancellation evasion I have ever seen. Like when cancel culture started, I was like, Collinsworth. Like if somebody had given me like minus 200 Collinsworth gets canceled, I would have put money on it for sure. And he's still avoiding it. It's crazy.
It's crazy. He's
good for him.
Staying ahead of the game. Yeah. Proud of you, buddy.
Yeah. Way to not get canceled.
Rest of our slate from last week. Thursday night, I push on the Lions. I had Linus -3, which was a big part of my handicap. I was like, hey, I think this half a point's a big point. I like the Lions to win by at least 3 here. And they did. They won by exactly 3. With that being said, if they really wanted to score a touchdown that last drive,
they could have.
I'm positive they could have. But hey, that's sports gambling. That's betting on Dan Campbell. A lot of controversy.
Dan called you and said, hey, is this Jamie? Yeah, your bet's not winning.
Sorry, we're pushing.
It's not like my relationship with Brian.
All right, man. We're pushing for you. A lot of controversy from that game. Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down, and fourth and short. I don't really care. I'm all about it. I'm to a point now where if I'm watching a good offense play like the Chiefs or the Eagles and they're 4th and 2, and they don't go for him, like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Dan's influence too.
Yeah, I'm just like, this
You
is
got to dance
not
with the lady that brought you.
This
So
is
if you're
not-
a fourth down team that goes for it, go for it.
how we play football in 2024. So if you don't think that Dan Campbell should be going for it, you don't know ball, including Teddy Bruschi. I don't think that guy knows ball either.
Wow.
What do you think
You
about that
spelled
game?
his name wrong. That's
I know
brutal.
I did on purpose. I didn't want to mispronounce it. Yeah, with a Y. Yeah. Yeah. Don't quit reading my notes.
Yeah. Well, right there, I can't help it.
Any thoughts on the Packers Lions game, James?
It was a fun game to watch. A lot more points than I thought it was going to be, obviously. But we got that live bet in on the stream.
We did,
which was crucial.
Yeah,
America, you're welcome.
Plus 110 if you were watching the live stream, which will let you know which ones we're doing Monday night and Thursday night and Monday night this week. We do have a Thursday night pick, so you can watch us sweat those bets out that we're about to make.
A Thursday night pick from us, really?
What? Who could have seen that coming? Jags Titans. My only losing bet of the week. Congratulations to James.
Mac Jones, baby.
I had Titans minus 3.5, and James, I got to say, this was definitely the wrong side. One of my worst handicaps of the season. I know Trevor Lawrence was out, but when you're expecting a team to cover 3.5, and you're the second worst team on offense in the NFL, I don't care how above average your defense is. That's a lot of points to cover. And that's kind of exactly what happened. Low scoring game. It was a coin flip, like you said. And those 3.5 points was way, way too much. So I've learned my lesson. I am not going to bet on horrible offenses to cover 3.5 points ever again in my gambling career. I also should have checked the Jags EPA per rush. They're 24th, which is actually pretty good. Yeah. Titans are 28th. So you lose your quarterback. I always check their rushing efficiency because obviously that's what's going to carry the team when the starting quarterback goes down, especially when you have like a competent quarterback under center replacing him, Heisman runner-up, Mac Jones. Yeah. So just a terrible, just really, really bad out of me, James, on that. How do you feel about that one?
I mean, I want to say fun game to watch. It wasn't fun to watch, but it was fun to win.
If you had money on it,
it was fun to win. I was watching the end of that. That game ended like they had a minute left in their game when the Vikings Falcons had 15 minutes left in the fourth. They had just started the fourth quarter. So I also love the fact that I got to watch that game early and then catch the end of all the other crazy.
That game wrapped up pretty quick. Yeah, those referees wanted to get out of
it. I was like, they were speed running that NFL game. We need to look up shortest NFL game in terms of actual hours because that might have been like in the top 10.
That was a fantastic game if you were, had money on it. Falcons, Vikings. I had Vikings minus 5.5. Never really felt bad about it. It was close in the first half. It's just another testament to if you can't get pressure on Sam Darnold, he's going to cook you. And if you want to hold him to under 400 yards, you got to put pressure on him. Falcons clearly couldn't. I think they were like the second worst team in pressure rate in the NFL going into that game. I don't think they got enough pressure, obviously, in that game. Never a doubt Vikings. James, what do you have on that one?
I felt so good after the first quarter.
Yeah, I bet you did.
They had sacked Darnold like on 3 drives in a row to end the drive, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like this is happening.
Yeah.
And then I was at the point where the Jets were pretty well ahead as well, too. And I was like, oh, I might win all 3 money line bets. Yeah. I thought for a second I had it.
Yep.
Oh, well.
That's gambling, baby. Jets.
That's the fun of it, though.
Jets at Dolphins. I think we both got this one right. Or no, you were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Jets money line. Dolphins. I had the over, which cashed in like the third quarter. Yeah. And I had the most perfect handicap of this game because I said the Dolphins are going to score 31.7 points. They score 32. I think the Jets easily score 15 or whatever the difference was going to be. They do more than enough.
Yeah.
Cover it in about the third quarter for me. So over hit pretty easily. What do you have on this one, James? I think we have the Jets again.
I think that was fun watching Aaron Rodgers in a Jets jersey for the last time.
You keep saying that.
Don't know why he's going to play.
We'll get to it. Saints. I had the under Saints and Giants. I had the under 40.5. Was so obvious. Drew Lock sucks. He's like the worst quarterback I've ever seen play in a long, long time. And I was like, hey, if this DeVito kid goes in, live bet the Giants, whatever the money is, because he's so much better than Drew Lock. And just another example of Brian Daboll making the bad decision for his team. And they lose when they had the opportunity to kick a field goal, go into overtime, If they kick a field goal, go into overtime, score a touchdown, I still get the under.
Yeah.
That's how under this game was.
You texted me the math.
I was like, hey, just checking my math real quick. I was on a different little plane there for a second. Yeah, so under hit with ease. Of course, the field goal misses and the Saints just win outright. What do you have on that one, James?
I watched none of this game.
Good.
Because I looked at the score after the first quarter and I saw there was no chance. I was like,
probably like 3-0
I'm not watching
after the
it.
first game, or 7-0 after.
We
like
all don't
half.
have red zone, so some of us have to pick what one game we watch.
Yeah. Week 15, getting on to our gambling slate with Thursday night. The Rams are at the 49ers. The line is -2.5 for the 49ers at home against the Rams. The over under 49 points. We've got a high of 58, winds of 9 miles per hour. Rams coming off a big win against the Bills. 49ers murder the Bears. Just fired their head coach.
That is fairly chilly for Santa Clara.
I'd say.
Watch out. So took some notes to coming in this game. I really thought I was going to pick Rams, and then I started diving into the numbers. First off, that Niners get right game against the Bears last week, pretty helpful, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they actually just need to see that they could score points.
Yeah.
It almost felt like they had the yips for a while. Looking at the advanced statistics, I use PFF, as we always talk about. Niners ranked 4th offensively on PFF. Rams ranked 7th. Defensively, Niners rank 11th, and the Rams rank 20th.
Okay. So they are factoring in injuries, right?
Yeah.
So that would be a big factor of it. Okay.
Yeah. And based off of those numbers, I mean, I thought I was going to pick the Rams, but every advanced statistic that I could look at, where there was pass coverage, rush defense, looking at even just pressure, I couldn't find a single thing to find an advantage for the Rams. And I really wanted to bet the Rams at plus money, but I couldn't do it. So I went with the Niners -2.5.
So I'm cringing here because we agree on this one.
But that's great. Lock of the week on Thursday night.
Because we suck.
That is what everyone wants.
I have recently, if you followed the podcast close, I've recently changed my tune on Thursday night. I just don't think the statistics really matter that much.
Yeah.
Because I've been going off statistics for Monday night and Sunday.
Yeah.
And I crush. I hit literally, I'm hitting at 70% against the spread and over under.
Thursday night's about the vibes.
Not buying points. It's all about the vibes. And what did we just see, James? Just like you said, 49ers win last week was not impressive. They rolled over the Bears. They had their starters sitting early in the second half. 49ers starters are feeling pretty good as they're sitting here today, I'm sure, in their meeting rooms. Rams just had an all-out brawl with the Bills where they win.
Yeah.
One of the toughest teams in the league, especially defensively, physical-wise. They are hot and have everything to play for, but quick turnaround favors the lesser head coach, which I would say Shanahan. Not a shot at Shanahan.
Wow.
Not a shot at Shanahan.
I mean, this is comparing prime rib and
Wagyu beef.
Yeah.
It's,
you're still pretty good.
We got two pretty damn good head coaches here, but
and Wagyu.
But obviously McVay is the better of the two, and he's got a short week to prepare for these Niners at Santa Clara. Short little bus drive for the Rams here. So yeah, I'm saying I agree. 49ers -2.5, James. Going to Sunday at noon. An amazing game. I'll be running a marathon, or hopefully finishing a marathon during the first half of this game. The Jets are at Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags are 3-point underdogs.
Wonder what's going to be more painful to watch, you running the marathon or this game?
At home. You're forcing us to watch it, James. Over runs at the 40.5.
America. You're welcome, America. So looking at all the advanced statistics here, these teams are basically even. I mean, they might be ranked a couple positions different, but in terms of the actual point score, ratings out of 100, which is kind of how PFF does every category, they're 1 to 1.5 points from each other. There's nothing that really makes me stand out between the two of these. Aaron Rodgers, I really think that he's going to sit out. I'm kind of shocked that news didn't break Tuesday, so maybe at this point he is, but I'm thinking that he's going to be giving up on the season and getting ready to go somewhere else.
No, because he's got to show that he can still ball. He's only his last game
did
one game over 300 yards. James, it's not going to be enough. Teams are going to be we're not going to.
NFL owners are they're like crack addicts. So you get one quarterback, and you got any more of those all-star quarterbacks? Aaron Rodgers can go wherever he wants.
No way,
quarterback. I'm telling you. But we'll find out.
We will.
Motivation wise, I think the Jags have a clear advantage here because I have to start looking at things other than metrics for these teams. I think they're at home. They got, again, Mac Jones. I think people keep forgetting this. Jacksonville local. He grew up in Jacksonville. If anybody's going to go in the locker room trying to get people motivated, it's Mac. And so with all of that coming down, I think it's beyond a coin toss. I mean, I think these teams are like even, and Jags are getting plus 145 at home. So I'm going to be taking the Jags plus 145 at home.
Okay. Second week in a row, by the way, for Aaron Rodgers playing at Jacksonville. Outdoor stadium, right?
Yes.
72 degrees and cloudy. So a small chance of rain. Great weather for an old man to play football in. I'll say that.
Those knees aren't aching.
Jets offense is hot. 7th in EPA per pass in the NFL in week 14 out of 26 teams. Over the season, they are 20th in EPA per pass. So they are getting a lot better. Jags defense is the worst in the NFL in EPA per pass.
Which is crazy with Hines Allen. You know, you think Hines Allen by himself could at least get you from 32 to 31.
That metric, by the way, the stat, plus 0.17. Commanders last year, worst pass defense in the league, 0.10.
Wow.
The 2022 Bears, worst pass defense in the league, 0.13. You got to go all the way back to the 2021 Jets to find a worse passing defense in the NFL over the past few seasons. So they are bad stopping the pass on defense. The Jets team was 4-13, gave up 29 points per game that season. 5th and 11th worst team in defending the run. You got to be able to stop the run to win football games, James.
Yep.
The Jets defense has gone on this run, giving up points. Ready? 23, 37 to the Steelers, 25 to the Patriots, 13 to the Texans. So they play one good game there. 31, 28, 26 in their last game. Their defense gives up 32 points with the help of overtime. So the defense can bow up in about one game per 8. Jags defense has gone on this run, giving up 47, 24, 35, 34, 35, 16 to the Patriots, which I think was Jacoby Brissett still, 30, or who cares, 30, 28, 12 to the Vikings.
Wow.
I can't explain that.
That's elite.
That is elite. You know what's not elite? Next week, give up 52. 23, and then just like we said,
6 to the Titans, baby.
6 to the Titans. Yeah, Titans.
So they're gonna give up 52.
Second worst. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, by that metric. No, they're gonna give up 70, even more. They're gonna, they give up 102. Is if that trend keeps up. Jags as a defense has gone, has 2 good games. Jets has 1 good game. One more go round for Aaron Rodgers for old time's sake. I'm riding with him, and I'm riding with him by way of the over.
Oh, okay.
40.5. The over is way too low, James.
I was gonna say you could find an alternate line for 100 and see what happens there.
Yeah. Next game up, Dolphins at Texans. -3 are the Texans. They're 3-point favorites at home. Over-under set to 47 points. Texans off a bye. A 3-point win over the Jags. Very impressive. Dolphins, OT win versus the red hot Jets.
Yeah. No, this one was interesting because you still, with statistics, have to factor in the Tua injury, right? So Dolphins have slowly been climbing up on the offensive rankings.
Yep.
They're still ranked lower than what I think they are with Tua. So I think Tua factors into this. Their defensive metrics, again, we're talking maybe, 5 positions separating them, but then again, it's 1 to 1.5 points.
Yeah.
I truly believe that with Tua rolling, he looks good. I thought he wouldn't be looking good coming off of that concussion, but he's proved me wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm flipping my stance on him. I think Tua is got this team rolling. And I think these defenses are relatively even based off of, we have the suspension of probably the Texans' best player as well, right? I'm not going to attempt to pronounce his name.
Azeez Al-Shaair.
There we go.
Suspended for decapitating Trevor Lawrence.
Exactly.
Because Allah told him it was okay to do it.
No comment. I really like the Dolphins.
That's what he said.
I like
That's not what I said.
I like the Dolphins.
I'm just quoting the guy.
Dolphins plus 125 is what I'm going to be taking.
Okay. I wanted to bet that so bad, and that's why this handicap really took it out of me.
Yeah.
It really, really did, because I hate the Texans now. because their head coach came out and their defensive coordinator or whatever came out and was like, yeah, we coach this shit. You slide late, we're going to take your head off. Like, no, that's not what the NFL is anymore. And they just said it into microphones and everyone's like, oh, okay. Well, they're just defending their guy, going to bat for their guy. I'm like, no, they're telling you they're dirty cheaters. They're the dirtiest team in the NFL, and they're literally telling you they're coaching it. And everyone's like, oh, 3-game suspension. We'll get over it. Coaches aren't going to get anything for admitting that they're trying to take the heads off of quarterbacks. Okay.
Would you trade a 3-game suspension for taking out the other player's quarterback?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just a random, like,
you should save it for the division at least.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, but like, if I was a fan of the Jags versus a fan of the Texans,
right,
I would way rather be on the Texans 3-game suspension side than the Jags losing your quarterback for the rest of the season side, obviously.
Yeah.
So not a big enough punishment for what that play was. Of course, you're not going to have every player in the NFL try to decapitate people in the name of Allah, but here we are. Anyways, Tua, like you said, has been running really, really hot. But when I dug into it, he hasn't faced a good passing defense. Yeah. So he's averaging 32 points, almost 32 points per game since his IR stint. But he hasn't run into a good passing defense. Even like the Bills, they aren't like a really. We'll get into it later. We got them on our slate, but they're not a really dominant pass defense. They can stop the run. The Texans are third best in EPA per play defending the pass. They are susceptible to the run, but Dolphins are the second worst in EPA per run. And I'm sure you're gonna say like, well, they do screens because of it, but it's like we say it every week. What do you got to do to win these games? You still got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. And
when they were at their height, they were running the ball well.
Texans offense is 19th in EPA per play. Miami's defense is only ranked 15th in EPA per play. So kind of even there. Texans are 11th in points per game because their defense is so good, and 5th in turnover differential. So they set them up in a really, really good field position. So they are able to score despite having a mediocre offense in terms of efficiency. Texans are going to shut down Tua. They may struggle to score. The Texans might, but I give them a point for home field. And I think they are about 3 points better than these Dolphins on a neutral site. So I got to go with Texans -3, James.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's when I close my laptop and I'm like, I'm done for the night.
You were so frustrated with capping.
I was like trying to figure out how can I possibly bet on these Dolphins, and I just simply couldn't. I simply couldn't justify it.
Oh man.
So
I'm sorry.
We'll get into it later. I got upset later on in this slate, which is probably a good thing. Yeah. Because I feel like you and I, our best picks are when we have a preconceived notion going in. And we look into the stats and we look into the situation and we're like, ooh, oh, we're on the wrong side here. Yeah. Because most people aren't looking into that stuff. They're just confirmation bias, like
vibes.
Give me the Dolphins. They have sweet uniforms. Speaking of sweet uniforms, Cowboys at Panthers. It's going to be a sweet uniform game. 2.5 point favorites at home are the Panthers.
Wow.
Over under set to 43. Panthers team has a lot of grit.
Yeah.
All right. They got a lot of grit. They remind me of the Lions from whatever, like 2-3 years ago when they were just losing to good teams close. So they do have that. Also, side note, doesn't really affect this game whatsoever. Jonathan Brooks goes down with an ACL. Whoever that doctor is in Austin or wherever who did that guy's ACL, clean tear by all reports, 6-month delay in recovery process, tears his ACL on just a stride that I take every day with no warm-up. Just pops it. Again, complete rupture. That guy shouldn't be even operating on old folks orthopedically, let alone
a cadaver.
Superstar.
He shouldn't be allowed near cadavers.
Don't let him waste ACLs near dead people either. Like that guy sucks. Don't let that guy near your knee. Okay. Cowboys coming off a short rest, James.
I hope he watches this podcast and sues you. That'd be the most media we'd get.
Yeah, sue me.
We would go viral for that.
Sue me.
Sue us.
Yeah, sue me for what? I didn't even say your name. Jonathan Brooks's doctor guy.
JBDG.
You suck, dude.
Oh my god.
1-star Google review.
Yeah. Well, luckily the Panthers still have Chuba Hubbard, so as long as he doesn't fumble
he's awesome.
the ball. Yeah, except for that overtime fumble.
Well,
but
yeah,
made
that
me,
wasn't great.
made me cry in the car on the way
Yeah.
home from Thanksgiving. Thanks, Chuba.
What do you got on this one?
Oh, short week for Dallas.
Yep, Monday night.
Bryce Young is the best. Never a doubt from me.
I have notes.
Never a doubt from me. You know,
okay.
you can go back. I always said he was elite.
You're right.
You're welcome.
Traded for him in Dynasty.
I did, and now that looks not bad now.
Well,
really, there's only one thing that people have to know about this game. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be in Panthers gear, so the Panthers are winning. Panthers -2.5. Easy peasy. You're welcome.
Hell yeah.
I'll be on the sidelines. Suck it.
-2.5. Panthers, a lot of grit, just like I said. 2.5 points is a lot, though, for one of the worst teams in the NFL to cover.
No longer the worst team in the NFL. I think you're looking at the wrong statistics there.
Second worst defense in the league. First and second in points per game. These two defenses are like the first and second worst. Second and third in EPA per play. Both QBs throw a lot of interceptions. Elite Bryce Young, just like you said, has 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on this season. Cooper Rush, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions this season. Mm-hmm. Offense, slightly better. 10th and 6th worst offenses in the NFL. So, you know, that's better. That's an improvement. Recent opponent, Giants, Cowboys scored 27 points on them. And the Panthers scored 20 points on them. Giants have a better defense than both of these teams by a lot. They're third worst in EPA per play, the Giants defense. So that's better. A lot better.
They are.
A lot better.
Wow.
The Cowboys and these Panthers have an elite bad defense. Give me over 43.
We call those turnstiles.
Give me over 43. That's all I'm going to say. So
I would like to say that the 7 interceptions that Bryce Young had, about 6 of those should not have been interceptions. They were just passes that people dropped into the arms of cornerbacks.
Okay.
I will defend Bryce.
How dare you disparage Xavier Leggett like that on my podcast? Anyways.
Well, Xavier Leggett dropping that touchdown pass the other week. Are you kidding me?
That was tough. That was really tough.
He's not cute with his accent anymore. He's going to keep dropping passes like that.
I would have miracled my way into a playoff run if he would have caught that.
Oh, anyways, that's even worse for you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Bills at Lions. Lions are 2.5 point favorites at home. The over/under set to 54.5. The Bills are coming off of a loss to the Rams, who the Lions beat in OT week 1. Lions should be getting some guys back on defense and on offense. Sounds like Decker is all the way back. No one is talking more shit than the Lions training staff is right now. We're gonna get Anzalone back by week 16. We're gonna get Aiden back by the divisional round.
Yeah, that's
like
wild.
They're talking a lot of shit in Detroit, and I love it.
The opposite of Jonathan Brooks' doctor.
I've got a lot. Yeah, exactly. I've got a lot of notes on this one, James. I'll let you take it away here.
I knew you were gonna have a lot of notes, so I kept mine short.
Okay.
It all comes down to one thing here. It's time to prove who the best team in the league is.
It really is.
And if there's one person I want to bet on at home, trying to prove something to people, Dan Campbell.
Dan freaking Campbell.
So I'm taking the Lions at -2.5, and I'm leaving you the rest of the floor because I know you got a lot for this.
Yeah, 65. I think he's like 66% against the spread in his career. The only thing he does better than win football games is beat the spread. Yeah, he's an absolute menace. First and second in points per game. First and second in point differential. First and seventh in turnover differential. Okay. So like you said, two of the best teams in the NFL. Big key factor for this one, McNeil and concussion protocol, but 10-day turnaround, and sounds like he's going to clear.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be huge. Sounds like we'll get DJ Reader back as well on the interior line.
Oh, Alabama drink. Decker, the left tackle, who, by the way, Dan Skip has been playing like an absolute legend. Took an elite flop. Did you see that flop out of Dan Skipper? No, I missed it.
Plus 15. Oh, he just totally instigated it. And then let go immediately when it was a late whistle. He let go immediately when the whistle sound kind of got in his face. 6'9" Dan Skipper, and just took an elite flop. Like LeBron James was gushing over how elite of a flop that was.
Taking notes on the.
So, anyways, Decker obviously is an upgrade. He's one of the best tackles in the league, but Dan Skipper's been playing his role as well. Pascal would be nice. He's not an elite pass rusher by any means, but going opposite of Zadarius Smith, he can get some sacks. So that's good if you're betting on the Lions. Bills, weak in pass defense, 17th in EPA per pass on defense. They're tough against the run, but Lions have run against some really, really good run defenses as well.
You can look at who the Bills are starting in their secondary and figure out that they're going to be bad against the pass.
Hasn't mattered. Lions are second best in EPA per pass with a score of 0.21. Okay. Ravens number 1 this season. But if you don't count the Ravens number 1 this season, to find a better passing offense in EPA per pass, you have to go back to 2020 MVP Rodgers Green Bay Packers.
Wow.
To find a better passing offense than these Lions. Of course, the Ravens are balling right now, so that's going to be an issue. But anyways, their defense stinks. Last week, Packers, Lions at Detroit went to a total of 65 points, no problemo. Packers, similar defense, worse offense compared to the Bills. Give me over 54.5.
Wow.
Gonna be a lot of points.
Wow.
A lot of points for these two football teams.
That is a lot of points.
That is a lot of points, James. Moving on. I think 5 games at 3:30 or 3 o'clock slate.
Yeah.
So that's going to be awesome because I'll be done with my marathon. I'll be working on getting drunk and enjoying football and not worrying about how bad my calves hurt. Patriots at Cardinals. Cardinals are 5.5 point favorites at home. The over-under set to 45.5. Both teams on a 3-game losing slide, James.
Yep. Well, we've talked a lot about something called the Detroit flu on this podcast. I did some digging on the Seattle Seahawks opponents, and I found something interesting. Ever since the Bills game, every team the Seahawks has played has gone on to lose the next week. So they had a game against the Rams where the Seahawks did lose.
26-20.
But the Rams did go on to lose to the Dolphins. The Seahawks beat the Niners. The Niners next week lose to the Packers. Seahawks beat the Jets. The Jets went on to lose to the Dolphins last week. I think the Seahawks are kind of like a Detroit junior in a physical game that they're playing against teams. And I do believe that is going to affect these Arizona Cardinals. And much like how we like betting on Detroit flu games, I like betting on the Seahawk flu, which actually makes more sense because birds help carry the flu anyway. So I like the Patriots, and I don't just like them at the spread.
Oh, you son of a gun.
I like them at plus 230.
You're just going to keep on chasing that Patriots dragon. So last 3 weeks or 2 weeks, right? So if you take a week off the Patriots, last week you took a week off the Patriots, but the 2 weeks before that, you bet either on or against. You flip-flop, you lose both ways.
Yep.
So I can't remember the order or whatever, but
I'm back, baby.
Back on the Patriots. I love it. I love it. And not the handicap that I had, but I'm kind of leaning your direction too here, James. Here's why. Points per game, Patriots are 31st. Cardinals are 18th. So, better, but not by much.
No.
Averaging 17 and 21 points per game, which means it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Right? And if it's a low-scoring game, how the hell are you going to cover 5.5?
No, not easily.
Cardinals can run the ball, 9th best in EPA per play. Patriots defensively better at stopping the run than the pass. 17th in EPA per play. So not good, but it's a 5.5 point spread. So what do you expect? Cardinals can win by margin, but the team has to absolutely roll over and quit. And I don't think that's what the Patriots are going to do here.
No.
The 3 big wins, why this spread is so wide is because they have won by margin this game this season, but they beat the Rams when Cooper Kupp went down in like the first quarter. The Jets like 4 weeks ago.
Immediately
unimpressive. And Bears after, everything that happened. Those are the 3 big wins.
Eber flew the coop.
Yeah. The 3 big wins that the Cardinals have had. Patriots, 14th in EPA per run. Cardinals, 26th.
Wow.
How are you going to win by a big margin if you can't stop the damn run?
Can't control the clock either.
James, mobile quarterback. Give me Patriots plus 5.5.
Oh,
sorry.
I got excited there for a second.
Why would you ever think I would take them?
I don't know. Maybe you're already so far ahead. You might as well just have
No,
one.
I'm trying to run the score up. Packers at Seahawks. I love that game, James.
Yes.
Packers at Seahawks. Seahawks are getting 2.5 points at home. The over is set to 45.5. This is Sunday night. Technically a Detroit flu game, but we've learned recently that a 10-day rest Detroit flu or a bye week Detroit flu isn't nearly as potent as a short rest or a 7-day rest Detroit flu game. Go ahead, James.
Well, they are still playing the Seattle Seahawks, who have their own flu, and you know what's hard to fight two flus at once. And this Seahawks team is hot.
Okay.
They're sneaky hot right now. They're playing well.
Okay.
Charbonnet obviously exploded the other week, but I think overall they've always had a good run game. Pete Carroll, fantastic guy. Gotta love him. And all that being said,
Is his spirit still with the Seahawks?
he is literally living in like the Seattle Seahawks.
Is that true? Is he still like a
he hasn't died yet, but his ashes are already buried.
Okay.
Pete Carroll just lives on through these teams.
He's just muddling around. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
He's still in the front office.
Sure,
he's not. It's not like
it's
not like he quit being the head coach.
I'm sure he's consulting his pants off.
Bro, he is just up there like it's
Puppet
like
master.
It's like he's like playing NFL head coach 08. I'm telling you, he's up there just telling them what to do.
Okay,
I that's the least kept secret in the world that Pete Carroll is still technically coaching this team.
Cool.
Come on. But all that being said, give me the Seahawks plus 125 at home. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. The Packers are still coming off a flu game, whether you like 10 days rest or not. I want the Seahawks. I want Seahawks plus 125.
Lions earlier this season murdered the Seahawks 42-29. This is 7th.
You just threw that one in there for fun.
That's a common opponent, James.
Okay.
It's a common opponent.
Just okay.
It's a common opponent.
Okay.
The Packers are playing the Seahawks. The Lions played the Packers last week.
Okay.
Second game of the season.
Gotcha.
Both games of the Packers were pretty close. Okay. Lions murder the Seahawks 42-29. What do you want? What do you want out of me?
Okay.
The common opponent, James.
Okay.
7th in point per game versus 15th. 7th in point differential versus 14th. Turnover differential 5th versus 22nd. All in the favor of the Packers. Similar on defense. Packers 10th best team in EPA per play on offense. Seahawks are 18th best. Seahawks defense 10th worst in EPA per run. Packers offense 11th best in EPA per run. Easy squeezy, lemon peasy. Give me the Packers minus 2.5. So, James, that brings us to Patriots plus 5.5, right?
Now, I believe there was another game that we actually both agreed on the spread.
Thursday night?
There was, that Niners game at minus 2.5 was the one that we both agreed on.
Puka Nacua. I mean, it would be a big letdown game for the Rams after coming off of a big emotional win. But I just think they're going to be too banged up. They had a too physical game, and the 49ers just basically took the week off.
Yep.
So I don't like that. Or I do like that.
But you don't like that it's on Thursday night.
I don't like that it's on Thursday.
But how sweet would it be
if we just totally
a Thursday night lock that then guarantees us profitability on lock of the week?
So we could go into Sunday with our pinkies
absolute
out.
Middle finger to Thursday night
To
football.
the football gods.
Yeah.
And our gambling.
Let's test it.
I don't think we should, James.
I think we should.
I don't think we should.
I'm not pivoting to a Patriots plus 5.5. I only like money line. I'm sorry. You can only convince me to do Niners minus 2.5. I'm going to force you into this.
Fuck it, James.
Yes.
Fuck it. Thursday night, we're breaking our schneid.
Boom.
Niners are going to cover.
Yeah, they are.
Minus 2.5.
Absolutely.
At home against the Rams, who are sitting high and mighty off of their big Beals win. Okay? I love it, James. We're definitely going to win that. There's no way we're going to lose that. And
it was a game that we both said I want to bet the Rams going into it and literally couldn't after looking at the statistics.
You're right. And yeah, Niners minus 2.5 feels good.
Feels amazing.
Feels good. We will be streaming it as well.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to have to find a Niners jersey to wear for that one.
How do you not just own a Jerry Rice jersey?
I don't have
I
don't have a Niners anything, I don't think. Yeah. I've been looking around for them. I don't have a Rams thing either, so whatever.
Oh.
Maybe I'll just flex on them and wear my Lions gear.
Yeah.
Anyways,
just do that.
James, thank you for joining us. Anything to tell the audience?
No, have a good holidays. I think we're recording another one before this, so
I sure hope so.
If you're watching this, buy your presents now.
Yep.
If you haven't, because that's a bad idea.
I already got my presents. I got Natalie won't listen this far into the episode. I got Natalie. I got Natalie Guitar Hero. She's been asking for Guitar Hero.
Oh yes.
So we got two guitars and Guitar Hero 1, 2, and 3 for PlayStation.
An epic
2.
story on getting it fixed as well.
Yes, where I had to travel back and forth from Plano to South Dallas, like a 30-mile trek to get that guitar fixed. But we got it fixed. We got it all set. Hopefully when we open the packages on Christmas Day, both of them will still work.
Are they under the tree?
They're not under the tree.
What was it? That's a hard thing to not inconspicuously
I wrapped them.
right?
I wrapped them and I put them in our gun cases. So it's like, where will Natalie not look is the gun cases. So yeah, we're good. We're good on that. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.